Wheels all over town are putting out on flames. Yeah, everybody like to have what I got, 'cause I'm coming down this morning on the fire. That's my name. This goes to my boys in red there. That's never had a bad one on my two down the road.
All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Two Pastors and a Guest. I'm your host, Brian Callies, with Callies Ministries, and we have another great episode for you tonight. Great show. Also, my co-host, Pastor Charles Matthews, the musician, the master. You were hearing a little bit of, it was a bad recording of it, I think, but we were out playing in our band, the Tennessee Rangers, and we were out there playing over in Millington. Remember that, Charles? You know, the police officers did a baseball tournament with the fire department. So the police department against the fire department. We were there trying to do a charity thing, and so we got to play a little bit there. And I think that was somebody's cell phone that they recorded on. So, but welcome for another great evening, Charles. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm blessed, man, by the grace of God, you know, just taking it one day at a time and trusting God for all things because He is my everything.
Amen to that. Man, what a beautiful day He blessed us with today, too. Well, guys, we have a really cool show. This is a kind of something that I wasn't even all that aware of until a little bit before the show, when I was learning a little bit about these two wonderful ladies. They represent a club called the Mid-South Camaro Club. Their motto is riding for a cause. So you guys just wait till you hear all this great stuff that they're doing. So our two guests tonight is Lisa McPherson of the Mid-South Camaro Club and Mardrey Wade Kiles. So hello, ladies. How are you?
Great. We're doing good. I am.
All right now.
All right. Well, welcome to the show. And for all the listeners who don't know exactly what the show is about, basically what our motto is keeping it real. So we're just going to have a conversation with our guests, our friends here, and we are just going to keep it real. And we're going to talk about some topics, talk about some things to see a little bit more about the Mid-South Camaro Club, what the great things that they're doing. And let's get started. All right, so let's start off with, would one of you please explain to me, because I just didn't realize what the Mid-South Camaro Club was. Can you guys, somebody just give us a synopsis real quick of what that is?
Lisa, you want to go ahead?
Okay. Mid-South Camaro Club, it's an organization. We really don't consider ourselves as a club. We more of a ministry.
All right.
God called me to this. He told me to make a difference. And so when I went forward in doing this, it's like I'm not doing it unto man or for the cars. I'm doing it unto God.
Amen.
So that's why he called me to make an impact with the community by community serving, not community service. So Mid-South Camaro Club, we serve the community because we have a heart unto God and we serve unto the Lord.
All right.
So Mid-South Camaro Club, that's why we ride for a cause.
Okay.
So when you see us riding, we on a mission. We on our way to do a call.
All right.
Wow, I think you're going to get along with us two pastors real well. That's great. That's great.
Yes.
So you said God led you into this to start the Mid-South Camaro Club then?
Yes, because this has been about over 15 years ago. I remember praying and I had wrote down confessions, and I always write down confessions and I read them every day. And one of my confessions was, Lord, use me to be a great leader here in Memphis, Tennessee. Use me to make a difference. Use me to be able to serve people. Use me to help people. And it took years later for it to come to pass because he blessed me with a Camaro, which I was not into a Camaro. I wanted the Chrysler 300. So it was like I ended up with a Camaro, and that's how it all got started, because I couldn't understand why he wanted me to have a Camaro out of all cars. I'm like, okay. So when I'm doing the club and when we doing things, it's like I'm not into the cars. I'm not into fixing my car up and everything. I'm into trying to make it happen. Do the things that we are to do. So that's where it's just crazy. I don't understand, but I do it. It's like God just like, and then He just blessed it. He just give us favor. It's just like and then He send us people. Like Mardrey. She has been with me from the beginning, and she has been so loyal and so like she has a heart and she has a vision. She's with the vision of the organization. So she plays a big part with Miss South Camaro Club, and we have several more members that really plays a big part because they have a heart of what the vision is all about.
Wow. And that's what the Lord said to do for the viewers that don't know this. In the Bible, there's a place that says, write the vision down and make it plain. And what we know that to mean is that sometimes when God gives you that mission, that vision, it's so important that you put it down, because you don't always get to hit on it right away. It doesn't always manifest right away. Sometimes it takes a little time. So obviously it took a little time for you guys, but well, how awesome. I'll confess a couple things. I owned a 70s Trans Am, the one with the T-Bird thing on it. And then later I ended up getting my Camaro. And so I had my Camaro, for probably 10 years. And, loved my Camaro. Too bad I didn't know about the club, or I could have,
Well, Pastor Callie, it's a lot of people, they love what we do in the community, and a lot of people that does not drive a Camaro, but they love the service that we do, and maybe want to be a part of it. So a lot of people would join our club that does not drive a Camaro.
Oh, so it's not a prerequisite.
So they just come and be a part.
So it's not a prerequisite. You don't have to go trade your truck out for a Camaro to come and work with you guys, right? That's wonderful.
It used to be when we first started, you have to have a Camaro.
Yeah.
But, when people start wanting to get involved, you don't have to drive. But when we riding, then you have to just meet us to, the place. You can ride with us, but, you can meet us there.
Well, that speaks volumes when people want to come to you to work with you because of the great things and the impact you're making. That's amazing. That's wonderful. Congratulations. So God's really doing something great through that. And Mardrey, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got connected with the whole thing.
Oh, wow. So she's right. I think she said since the beginning, but I think it may seem like I've been there that long. It was a year after the club started, and my son, he's 22 now, but Kenyon was 13 or 14 when we started. My daughter was in college and she needed a car. So you don't drive, you don't have a job, so I'll get the new car and you can have my old car. So I went to look for a car. My son was with me and he was like, Mom, since we're here at the Chevrolet place, let's look at some Camaros. Well, I'm claustrophobic for one thing. So I was like, no, that would be the car for me. But talked me into it, and I gave my daughter my car, my old car, and I got that Camaro. Well, he had a plan that I didn't know he had, him and God. So on Saturdays, me and his father divorced, but on Saturdays, he would say, Mom, let's go to some car shows. Well, I didn't know what they were like, and I thought it was a lot of wild people. I really didn't know what to expect. But unbeknown to me, he had been researching the Camaro Club. So we went to this car show, And I saw the Camaro Club, and I was like, I'm gonna kill him. I was saying this to myself, I'm gonna get him, because I told him we couldn't join a car club. I don't like being in groups with people like that. You know, that's too much for me. So he was determined to do that. So I talked to Lisa, and she, you know, said, well, come on out. They were gonna do something, and so I ended up going, and he went with me. And so every Saturday after that, we were at car shows. So eventually, I ended up joining the club. And then from there, my son took over my car. He started fixing it up. He got so good with it that we go to car shows, and I just let him put it in under his name, and he win. He was so good at designing that car. Yeah. He actually went, after he graduated high school, he does body work, auto work. Okay. So, but that's not involved, and it's real family oriented. So I didn't feel out of place with him being there, and actually met the men that are in the club. He met some really good mentors for a young man. And so we were in a good place. And I saw that it wasn't as wild as I thought it was. And I could still have my reputation and my sanity when I left from there. So I've been sticking with her ever since. And actually, I'm on my 3rd Camaro, so I love them.
Wow. Wow. Well, with somebody in the family that could help fix them up and make them so cool, you know, that's kind of hard to turn down.
It really is.
Yes. And Mr. Callies, you know, I've even got a chance to ride with and like she just said, when they ride out, you gotta meet them there. I was the only one that I think probably that I remember of that had the privilege to ride with them with their Camaros with a different vehicle. I was behind them with my Hummer. I had a Hummer H2, so they let me roll behind them. And look, and Mardrey, look, watch this. You talking about do a mean seafood ball, Brian? Man, look, we went to her house one time for a seafood ball. Man, woo, brother. Look. But I'm just. Look,
so when is that date? When is that date again? We're gonna come over to the seafood ball.
October the 20th.
Okay, deal. I got that on film somewhere.
Look, but I'm just telling you, Brian. But I just want to tell you, listen, they are some loving, awesome women, an awesome group. When I tell you, I've been to the place and I saw them in action. You know, I mean, you can't even count what they don't do. I always say, maybe if you find out what they don't do, maybe you can figure out all they do. But the fact of the matter, you can't even figure them out because they always giving. They've always been givers. I'm saying, I mean, I would be riding with them. We'd be riding a long time. I'd be like, man, when we gonna get there? Like, man, you know. And we be riding. I mean, and they just, when I tell you they go everywhere, man, listen to me. They go everywhere, helping everybody. And that's why I want them to be on here to make sure, because I want people to know the Bible says we should give credit to whom credit is due. And see, sometimes some people, you know, they be, as the young folks say, you know, people sleeping on them. And but the true fact of the matter is that they don't do it for the recognition, but the fact of the matter is that, but they should be recognized when they're doing things like this. And that's why they didn't got, like I said, you'll see as they go along, they got different, you know, awards and different things that was given to them because of their love and kindness and their heart. See, they have a heart for it. So that's what makes it different. It ain't to be seen. It ain't about the cars, but it's about the heart that they have for what they're doing. Because they park them cars and get out and go to clean up the side of the highway. They park their cars and get out and go to feed. So I just wanted to share that with.
So where all do you guys? Thank you, Charles. Where do you guys all? Where it says Mid-South. So what all areas do you guys cover? What do you serve? Like Arkansas, Mississippi kind of thing, or Tennessee only, or tell me a little bit about what you serve.
We all over.
All over.
We all over. Yeah.
Awesome.
We went to
Tennessee, Texas, maybe everywhere. Texas, everywhere. I wouldn't go to Texas. Go to one time. We going to Texas. I said goodbye. They be everywhere. So I'm gonna let them finish. Go ahead, Lisa. Yo.
We went to Earl, Arkansas. A couple of years ago, I think 3 years ago, they invited us to their town Christmas parade. And whenever we go somewhere, like I say, we go and we ride for a cause. So when we went to Earl, Arkansas, we took some toys. We took boy toys, girl toys. And while we riding in the parade, we passing out toys to the kids. And we also passed out a $25 gift card to some parents. We had like 25 gift cards, and we passed them out to some of the parents and everything. So so when we went that year, the next year they invited us. So the next year we did the same thing. We whenever we go to Earl, Arkansas, to their Christmas parade, we always take toys and pass them out to the kids. Well, the mayor of Arkansas, he called me and he asked me, will we adopt Earl, Arkansas? And so I was like, well, let us think about that. But we're still going to help you all, and we're still going to continue to do what we do. So it was about, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, we went to Earl, Arkansas. We gathered up like $1,000, like food to feed up to 1,000 people.
Wow.
Hamburgers, hot dogs, and everything. So it was like we had enough food to feed 1,000 people. So we was gonna feed the town of Earl, Arkansas. So we got a place. We was like in the middle of a field, and we had a lot of clothes. We had people to donate clothes, donate shoes, a lot of items, and we took them all over to Earl, Arkansas, and we set up in the field. And we fed their town. And we also, once we got through feeding them and giving away clothes, we had some balls and some baseballs. And so we set up a game of kickball. And so the whole town got together with us, and we played kickball. And it was and so we had a ball. So that's what we did. So we do go outside of the Memphis.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna Charles had given me a list of some of the things that you guys have done, just real quickly, so the audience can hear some of this. This is amazing. So this is just, it looks like, I don't know how many of you guys do a year events, but wow, that's amazing. So just real quickly, cash donations to the Mid-South Food Bank, donate school supplies to an elementary school, volunteers for a nursing home, helped Oak Grove Baptist clean up the neighborhood, treats and trunks, ride through the neighborhood, gives out treats, donate $300 to a Tunica family who lost everything in a house fire, prostate cancer awareness ride with the bikers, motorcycle safety awareness ride, donated to Toys to St. Jude, participating in breast cancer ride. I mean, turkeys and contributed cash donation to Mid-South Food Bank. I mean, that's just one of the many pages of stuff that you guys have done that just speaks to your legacy. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that y'all were doing this. That's amazing work. I pat you all on the back. There's several awards that you guys have received. You want to tell us a little bit about those awards, Mardrey or Lisa?
Well, I'll tell. We because we were doing so many things out in the community, a lot of the city officials were really surprised that a car club was doing those things. So, and also in our club, we have so many different ranges of people that have so many different jobs, the categories of jobs and stuff. So when they're out with us doing things, you get the recognition that you would probably normally get. So we had people watching us because we also adopted a police station, two of them.
Wow.
So they're like, who are these people doing all this stuff? You know, so we got recognition the House of Representatives, Tennessee House of Representatives. We actually have a Mid-South Camaro Club Day, and we've been recognized by the Shelby County Commissioner's Office and the mayor. It was Mayor Luttrell at that time.
Yeah.
And we also recognized by the city of Memphis. There's a little thing that the Best in Black Award, we were winning it every year. So Lisa, she gracious as she is, she started telling them, do not put our names in the drawing for that. We don't want, because we don't want to take any away from anyone else. So we stopped doing that one. But we're always recognized. Just the thing about it is, like I said, there's so many different people with so many different professions in our club that when we go out and we're doing what we don't call it our dirty work, but when we're doing things that really we want to do for people, not to be recognized, but actually to give back to the community. And also, when we did that peace ride, we did in Douglas a couple of years back, they had a drive-by shooting that killed, I grew up in Douglas in North Memphis. So it was really dear to me. And when they saw that we were actually doing a peace rally, we got recognized for that. We didn't do it for the recognition, but because I grew up in that community, and I know what that community was like when I was a kid, I really wanted the community to know that these people driving these cars, we care, and we want these kids to see if you can live past 20, you can do these things that we're doing, and you can actually care and love for your community and give back the way we're doing it. So that's why I think that that she's been given, the club has been given the accolades that they've been given. It's so many of them. I think the list is
yeah, I'm looking at it. It's wow.
Yes.
I can't remember everything, but it blows my mind when she calls me and say, we need to go on the news because they're giving us this or they're giving us that. And I'm like, wow.
Wow. And Brian, with her saying that, look, and she was saying that, as you hear her say, and we don't do this for the recognition because, you know, their heart is so giving and so pure until you could understand now why I told you that we needed to have them on here. And their heart is so given to, you know, it don't matter to them. Like they said, watch this. I heard that she said, we didn't want our name to put in the drawing because we didn't want to take nothing from nobody because we bringing, we givers, you know, and I said that and it kind of took my mind back to the Bible where Luke 6:38, where it talks about, watch this, and this is what happens, see, that's why they get so much being given to them, you know, by God is favoring them, blessing and favoring them. And Luke 6:38 says, give and it shall be given unto you. Good measures pressed down and shaken together and running over shall man give into your bosom. For with the same measures that ye meter, with it shall be metered unto you. So that's why they are being so showered. And this ain't this ain't even the half of it for real for them. They really don't really understand for real and know what God really has for them coming their way. God can open up some doors for you all, Lisa and Mardrey. Watch this. Y'all, it's going to blow y'all mind. Listen what I'm telling you. I'm telling you what the Spirit is telling me, not what Charles is saying, but even reading Luke 6:38. He said, even right there, he's letting you know, watch this. Prepare yourself and brace yourself. And what I love about him, Brian, watch this. No matter whatever happened, no matter how many awards they got, no matter how many times people told them how good and great they were, they never got the big head. They kept on being humble. They are humble people. This is a humble organization. And it joys my heart, you know, that they're my friends, you know. So with that being said, I just wanted to share that because God is getting ready to open up some doors and pour out some blessings out the windows, because he said he gonna open up the windows of heaven and pour out a bundle of blessing that your storerooms won't even have room enough to receive. So imagine having those kind of blessings because y'all are getting them out. So y'all ain't got your hands just out open. Y'all, closed. Y'all got them open, giving. See, you giving. I ain't just always on reaching. You know, y'all giving. See, and when you're givers, guess what? They're givers. And I realized, Brian, being a part of them, being around them, the times I was around them, they'll give us by the spirit of, even by nature they'll give us, but even their spirit is even more giver. That's why God is continuing to do what he's doing for them and getting ready to do what he's going to do for them. Watch what happens, y'all. I'm telling you, in just a little while. This thing here gonna blow over in a little while. And y'all gonna, I'm telling you, y'all think y'all been busy, man. Y'all gonna have to tell folks, man, we overbooked. Because God got, and financially, he finna open up some doors for y'all and bless y'all. You know, watch this. Individually and as a whole. God got some things for y'all. And I just want to tell y'all, I'm proud of y'all. I thank God for y'all. And I appreciate you all for everything y'all are doing and is going to do by the grace of God.
Woo.
Thank you, Charles.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And you know, this show is about keeping it real.
Right.
Yeah.
So let me keep it real with you.
Here we go.
There has been trials and tribulations
Yes.
with this. This is 9 years that, you know, we've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so many times when it's been so hard where I'm like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm finna let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. Next year, we're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting Miss South Camaro Club go.
Mm-hmm.
I have been attacked, you know, as a leader,
Mm-hmm.
as a female, I have been attacked trying to do the works of the Lord.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, Lord, I'm tired. You know, I'm stressed out. You know, and I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I'm just gonna quit. That's it, Miss South America. That's it. I have people that have tried to take this organization from me because they see of the great things that God has done, and they see when people join this organization and they see, wow, okay, well, hey, I can do it too. Wow, okay, let me try to, you know, I can take this from her, or, you know, let me start my own club. But people don't realize that this is my purpose. God called me to this. So you can't take my purpose and make it your own. You have to find out what is your purpose and allow God to bless your purpose. So with that being said, I've been saying I'm tired, I'm going to give it up. But God said, wait a minute, who got you doing this? Mm-hmm. You can't stop until I say, well done.
Amen.
So you just confirmed that, okay, Lisa, you got to keep on going, you know, and God done told me to, you know, I tell you when to stop, you know. So, but thank you so much. I really do appreciate those words, and that has really inspired me as well as I'm sure Mardrey, because she pushes me, she try to push me and everything. So I thank you for that, because it is a hard road.
I know, and to God be the glory. Brian, real quick, I got to give him this one. God just didn't get. I got to give him this one. Would listen to what you just said. You know, God says this. Just remember, Psalms 37:1. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in the Lord and do good. So shall thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of your heart. Delight yourself in the Lord.
Amen.
And he will give you the desires of your heart. All you got to do is tell him what you desire. You know, first of all, I say this, and, you know, first of all, make sure you remember as you're doing, continue to, first of all, seek ye first his kingdom as you're doing and all his righteousness. And he said that all these other things will be added unto you. So all I'm saying is that, guess what? He'll give you desires of your heart.
Wonderful,
Praise.
amazing, amazing, amazing stories. I can't wait till we get back. We got to take a quick break for a commercial for our charity spotlight, and then we're going to get back. Viewers, we are talking with the Mid-South Camaro Club, but they are more than just a club. They're
Yes.
a strong, strong, strong ministry, and they're out there serving like you wouldn't believe. And we all have ways that we can either connect to them or take something as far as like an inspiration from what they're doing. So it's amazing stuff. And but we're going to get a little bit more real when we get back, and we're going to get into a little bit more insights of what Lisa was just talking about there, where some of this might be a little bit of a struggle sometimes, and you almost sometimes feel like you need to take a break maybe, but we're gonna talk about that a little bit more and see if we can't give her a little bit of encouragement and that kind of thing. So right after our commercial break, so our charity spotlight is going to be Saving Lost Kids. That is an organization that is dear in heart to both Charles and I. And
Yes.
so what little bit about Saving Lost Kids. Its focus is missing, exploited, and sex trafficking, and trying to prevent that from happening. So it does everything on the front side. So prevention, education, and awareness, so that children don't get caught up into going missing, exploited, and sex trafficked. This is our website, savinglostkids.org, savinglostkids.org. You can also call 1-800-308-0607. There's a ton of information online. Parents, you need to check this out. Just to give you a quick cap, we've got all kinds of things about, because of the problem, missing, exploited, and sex trafficking. So we've got a ton of information about signs of sex trafficking. Just to give you a few of those, if they have might be a physical thing. So we broke it down into physical ideas. So it could be injuries or signs of abuse, or appeals malnourished. They got branded, like they got some markings or some tattoos, dressed in an inappropriate manner. Maybe they got on the possession side. So parents, this is something to keep up and to keep in your mind. If your say son or daughter comes home and they have material possessions that you didn't buy for them, and there's no way they could have. So cell phones, jewelry, things like that, that obviously you didn't know what happened or why that child has them, because you didn't get them for them. There's behavioral traits, there's lack of control, all kinds of things that you can check out on the website. A ton of information. Then we also have resources, especially on the sex trafficking sides. There's everything from books, movies, videos, just a ton of stuff that will help you as you navigate through them. There's a ton of films that have been made to help you parents to kind of see what goes on behind the scenes. And we have a ton of those listed on the website. And lastly, if you want to help us to continue the job that Charles and I and the whole team does, we go out to the public and do a tremendous amount of events. So usually about 150 plus events a year. So we'd love to have you as a volunteer. We just have a ton of opportunities for you to serve. It's fun. It's not doom and gloom. We do free child safety IDs as one of the biggest free offerings for the public. So you can come and help us to provide those IDs to the public. And that will really help to get you started into working with this and trying to help children and prevent them from going missing, exploited, sex trafficked. Also, we're a nonprofit, 100% nonprofit. So we 501c3. We donations are the key of how we continue and how we move and do our thing. So we have a neat new way of having you donate this time. It's called text to donate. So you can text the letters SLK for Saving Lost Kids. So SLK to 41444 and start the whole donation process there. We really appreciate if you become a partner with us. We need partners, and partners is just somebody who wants to make a real active role, and that means just a monthly donation Doesn't mean it has to be a huge amount, but just give what you can, give what's in your heart. But if you could do a monthly donation, that will really change the game for us and help us to serve more and more kids as we go. Our year is just kind of starting because we kind of got a little bit delayed with the whole COVID thing. As things start kicking back off, we really need your help. So come and volunteer, be a part of the team, donate, be a part of the team that way, but just in some way, please come and be a part of this thing we're doing to stop children from going missing, exploited, sex trafficked. They need your and my help. So that is our charity spotlight for saving lost kids. And now we're back to the show. We have an amazing show for the viewers that are just starting to see us. It's a Mid-South Camaro Club. More than a club, they're more of a ministry, more of an outreach, more of just a group that is doing amazing work to help. We have Lisa McPherson and Mardrey Wade Kiles, and just amazing work you guys are doing.
Amen.
I wanted to talk to y'all real quick just before the break, because I've been in your shoes, Lisa. So I am a executive director, founder of 2 nonprofits, Saving Lost Kids being one, and the Ministries, Brian Callies Ministries being the other. And I have definitely been in your shoes and know exactly how you're feeling, but maybe we could talk about that just a little bit and help somebody else with that struggle. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Great. So in my world, you connected with me very well when you said, some years you feel like maybe you should stop. Maybe you've had enough, or you need a break, or it's, and you got a lot of opposition sometimes. So if you wouldn't mind just kind of expand on that just a little bit so that we can come back to it, remind everybody what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, it's just been so many times when I feel like I just wanted to stop. When you plan by me being the CEO, president of Mid-South Camaro Club, I do the thing, and I set us up with activities and with the events. And so whenever we have an event, by God calling me to do this, and when He telling me to make a difference, so I'm doing this unto God. So I'm taking this serious, where other people can sit back and say, well, okay, and they just wait for the show to begin. But me, I have to make it happen and have that spirit of excellence, because, it's like, okay, it may not be perfect, but I'm a type of person that I strive for perfection. So when I do events, I have a tendency of, okay, that and I'm a whole totally different person because I want it right. Because when we doing it, when we serving, when we helping people, we have one time to get it right. And when you meet a person, it's the first, impression that you get, where a person, when you opening up your heart, you opening up your heart to love and to, to show love. And so when we, doing an event, they might, like if I'm doing a car show, setting up for the car show, my members be like, oh Lord, they'll give me a name. Here comes Sally, because I'd be a whole totally different person. But they're not understanding that this is my purpose, and this is, I'm working unto God. So I take it serious because this is a job for me, because I want Him to be pleased and what He called me for. Yes. So a lot of people don't understand, of what I'm going through behind the scene. I'm praying for the club. I'm praying for my members. I'm praying for the event. I started praying for our car show like a year before the car show actually happened. So every day I'm mentioning our car show to the Lord. Every day I'm praying for good weather. Every day I'm praying, so it takes work. And so when you have people to come in to envy you, to try to break you down, to try to do things that, create mess and drama in the club, and I'm totally, you know, against mess and drama. So whenever something happens, or when somebody have a problem with someone, I try to go ahead and let's settle this right now, instead of letting it grow and grow. So people don't understand, you know, my mission with God. So, but they just see on the outside, okay, let's just do this. But, you know, and so I get tired, you know, because it's like, I don't know, I just want to just give up. It's like, I'm tired, you know. So,
Let
I
me,
mean, and then I have people like Mardrey, other people that comes and they will push me, give me that push, and they'll tell me, you know, they'll give me some scriptures and talk to me about the Lord. And, you know, and then they start encouraging me. And then I get that energy again. And then, you know, God, he's sitting back like, okay, you know, you're not going to quit. So whenever I get to that point where I'm going to quit, then he always give me another task.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, I got another task. So that means there goes another year. So, you know, just.
well, I think I understand exactly where you're coming from. So Charles and I and my wife and all the other people at Saving Lost Kids, we've been in this situation several times. As the executive director and the founder, sometimes I feel like the whole organization's on my shoulders, and it gets frustrating when I don't see others that are committed as much as I am, because they're not taking it seriously, you know, or whatever. So, and let me say this to that. So a few things I've learned. All right. Mimicry, when people mimic you, mimicry is a great demonstration of flattery. When people start mimicking you for what you're doing, you should take that absolutely as a compliment and a pat on your back. People only look at heroes and then they try to emulate their heroes. What you're doing, what you guys are all doing, looks like we lost Mardrey video a little bit, so we'll give her just a minute to pop back on. So I'm going to keep talking though. People like to mimic heroes. What you guys are doing is so impactful and so great that people are going to want to step in and act like that, but they're going to want their own thing. See, and then you mentioned it earlier. You know, God's anointed you in this. Absolutely, he's anointed you in this. So you have a special blessing that you don't have to worry about losing, because he's asked you and called you to it. You don't have to worry about losing anything. I went through that for a little bit. I went through this little trick of fearing, because we went through the same deal. So people came in and they tried to shut us down. Is what they try to do. You can't do what you're doing. And then when they realized that what God gave Charles and I and my wife and the others, it wasn't going to stop. We're going to keep doing this. Okay. Well, the next thing they try to do is, okay, well, we're going to steal what you're doing. You know, they tried that trick. And so there's a lot of other tricks. What I found out is that the more great things you do for God, the more opposition you're going to have. All right. If you're not doing much, you ain't going to get much opposition. It's the way it is. But when you start doing great, all right, that's when it pisses the devil off. That's when things start coming at you to stop you and slow you down. So the key is remembering that what you're doing is just because God asked you to do it. It's his world. It's his game. You know, he's got this thing figured. You just got to do your part. And when somebody else tries to steal it, you feel it's like it's your baby, because you probably feel like me. It's like it's just your baby. You can't let that happen, right? So let me tell you what Jesus did. So I'm going to paraphrase a Bible story, and for the viewers, this is a story out of the New Testament. So Jesus was here on the earth at this time, and he was going around, and he was really doing amazing work, and he was really teaching people how to baptize and that kind of thing. And then they heard about somebody else who wasn't part of the team, the clique, the group that was hanging around Jesus, heard about somebody else that was doing some things. And immediately, I think the disciples were probably feeling like, oh, these guys are wrong and they're bad, right? Because they're trying to do what you're doing. And Jesus's response was, well, leave them alone, right? Because those that are not against me are for me. So they were working, some other guys were doing something, maybe emulating kind of, and trying to act like, but Jesus didn't squash it. He didn't shut it down. And that's what God showed me when some people wanted to kind of emulate what we're doing and trying to get jealous and all that kind of stuff. He's like, Brian, I called you to this. I called you guys to this. And this is an anointing that I've given you guys. You have nothing to worry about. Do what you do. It might spin up 100 other different people doing something similar and good, because all they're going to be able to do is do good stuff because they're emulating something I've done through you. So you're becoming a person who's discipling others. You can look at it that way. As you do better, they have to step up their game and start to do better as they're following you and trying to get from you. So now you're really discipling them. They are literally, what a disciple really is one that follows another so closely that they try to be like that one they're following. That's what a disciple is. So that's kind of what they're doing. So I wouldn't take that. Now, I know it seems like you're kind of, sometimes you get burned out and frustrated, and you're like me, I'm a perfectionist, the ultimate perfectionist, right? It has to be the best, always. All right. It doesn't always work like that with people. So you get two options, is the way I've seen it in our organization. Charles will agree. You can run it to the nth degree and run people off who can't connect to that very well because that's not them, right? Or you can lower your standards, allow them to come in. But what I mean by lower your standards, not saying it's not perfect and not great, but you allow them to fit in and plug in so they have room to grow to the standard that you have. So that's the way we are. So we do fingerprints, for example. All right. Fingerprints have to be perfect. They just have to be. But I can't find the perfect person every time for every event and all our volunteers that can do them perfectly every time. Can't. So instead, I will intentionally grab somebody who needs to learn, and we'll put them down, and now it's a learning thing. They try. As long as they're trying, I'm good. They try and they make a mistake, and we say, no, that's not good enough. We have to do this. We have to do this. And eventually, after a couple times, shoot, they're great. I don't have to worry about them anymore. They've grown to the mark. And I've had to learn to be that, because I think it's, I don't know what that is. I don't think it's humility. Maybe it's a humbleness thing. I don't know what that is, but I've had to learn that. I don't know if that helps at all, but.
Okay, you do.
It helps. It does.
But you guys are doing such amazing work that it can't be dismissed. There's just there's list after list after list. You guys have blown away people who do this. Like, that's the only reason they formed, is to do what you guys are doing, and you guys are knocking it out of the park. So yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, what you're saying there, but also when Brian was saying, Lisa and Mardrey, when he said, you know, to lower yourself to their standards, he didn't mean necessarily lower yourself to their. In other words, sometimes we all know that you got to meet people where they at because they are not where you at. So you got to meet them where you at to bring them to where they need to be. So sometimes it's necessary, you know, to go to where people at, you know, bring them where they need to be. I say this all the time. I remember when I was young, I loved a lot of, and even still now, I loved a lot of war movies and stuff like that. And one of the ones I would watch was MASH, and I know most of us probably know about MASH. And watch this real quick. MASH was a show where, you know, it was a war story. So what would happen was that when people would get hurt, they had kits set up in hospitals and things like that. And I learned that there was at least 3 different kinds of people that was injured there. There was a seriously injured, critically injured, and severely injured people. There was 3 different ones that I noticed. And what happened was that the seriously injured normally they'll get them and with they can walk by themselves, for the most of it. And then that's the serious. And then critically injured, they would get them, and with a little help and support, they would get them to the tent to get some help, so they can get well, and then for the severely injured, they couldn't move at all. So what they would do, the people would go get them and put them on the stretcher and carry them to the hospital to get the help they needed. So all I'm saying is that sometimes there are some people that y'all gonna encounter that no matter how you see them and what they look like, guess what? You're gonna have to get them and put them on the stretcher, really carry them to the place they need to get to so they can get some help. And the Bible said, I said, let's say this, watch it. And the Bible says this in this Ecclesiastes 9:11. It says, I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skills. But time and change happens to them all. In other words, all God is saying is that, guess what? We all know that all He telling us to do is that don't worry about it. The ones that's running ahead of you, trying to win the race and trying to outdo you, you ain't got to worry about them, because somewhere down the side of the road, they're going to catch a Charlie horse, and you ain't got to worry about it.
Well, and I agree with you, Charles, because let me rephrase that. It's always better to think back on what you say. I agree with you, Charles, in that I don't think we should lower our standards. We just need to allow people to rise to them, give them a chance to walk into that. Don't expect them to be where you are.
That's right.
So, and at least that is for me. And I'll tell you something that's amazing, though, that you have a huge gift that cannot be underestimated how important this is. You have a Mardrey Kiles that God gave you to continue to lift you up, to build you up, keep you on path, keep you on track. When you start to slip, she's there to pick you back up, hold your arm up when you can't hold that arm up anymore. That's her job. She's doing really good at that, it sounds like. So you got an amazing woman there. I know how important that is, because Charles, man, I'd be hopping around on one leg if it wasn't for Charles. He's my other leg most of the time. Most of the things we do. So
God be all the glory, So and it's a blessing, that we are here to help one another. And even when Brian said that, it reminded me of Moses and and Aaron. When they was fighting the battle, and when he'd get weak, and they go to lose, arms get tired. Then Aaron would hold his arms up, and they began to win again. All I'm saying is that Mardrey is just like Eric Paul needed Timothy, and Mardrey is like your Timothy. She's there, to help you, to encourage you, and all those kind of things. See, and I always tell people, I don't care. Every Paul need a Timothy, because we all need somebody to lean on. That old song said, "Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend." Because we all need somebody to lean on. And God put people in your life that you can truthfully lean on, and they ain't got to worry about them moving and you falling. Amen.
So let me hit that little preaching moment that I had there. Let me show you what verse that came out of Luke 9:49. John, one of the disciples, said, "Master, we saw someone driving out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he's not one of us." And Jesus' thing, this is his answer: "Do not stop him, for whoever is not against you is for you." So that speaks volumes to me when I see somebody trying to mimic what I'm doing and making me feel like, oh, they're just trying to steal something from me. They can't steal when I'm not giving them. But I'm going to keep giving them everything that I can. So let me tell you something that Joyce Meyer did one time. It's really clever, really clever. So this spoke volumes to me. So in the world of churches and stuff like that, sometimes there's breakups and splits and stuff like that. And so one of the people with Joyce Meyer's group decided to kind of get the big head, and he was going to go split and take a whole bunch of people with him from Joyce Meyer's group. And that was his attempt, his idea. So Joyce Meyer did something I wouldn't have normally done. She said, oh, fine. What I'm going to do for that guy is I'm going to bless that guy. So I'm actually going to buy his first sound system. So she spent a ton of money to buy him a sound system from a guy that was trying to split the church up and she's not a church, she's a ministry, but trying to split the ministry up and take people, and he did all that negative crap. And what she did is did something and blessed him on top of it.
Right.
And she, in the Bible talks about that too. When you have an enemy, I don't know if she wants to call that an enemy, but when you have an enemy, bless them.
Adversary.
And I tell you, it works. I can tell you from experience. We had somebody in our organization who was dearly loved and awesome friend, but she ended up getting a little worldly on something and coming up with an idea that she was going to do something on her own, and put a little negative shine on what we were doing and try to do a split up thing. And that's exactly what I decided to do, is what God led me to do, is bless her. And so that's what we did, is we blessed her in every way that we can think of. And there wasn't any room for a fight or an argument, because every time something would come up, I said, oh, well, you need help with this? Fine. Just bless you.
Yeah.
And we just kept every little confrontation that would come up. Good. How can I bless you? Here, I'll give you a blessing. There you go. I mean, we just squashed it every time we tried. Just pissed the devil off. I mean, it just totally upset him, but it works. It works.
When we was at events, we would go out and we would, we would have to bring our stuff in and set it up and put it back in our vehicle and all those things, So it was just that gives me, that reminds me and takes my mind back to scripture, what Jesus told him. He said, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So sometimes you just got to draw people with love and kindness, Yeah.
Well, we sure hope that you guys continue what you're doing, because what you guys are doing is so critical and so important. There's not enough people doing what God's called you to do. That's why you guys are so important. So I pray, and my hopes are that you don't let it go until God tells you it's time to let it go. And when you do, I pray that he passes the buck to Mardrey or something, pass the buck, let it continue, let it keep going.
No, that's not my gift. And I always tell her, like you always saying, people can mimic your gifts, and also people can see, how you look in a store window and they have the things all decorated so nice.
Right.
It draws your eyes to it. And you say they got some good going on there. Yeah. And some people want that something good. They want it to look just like it does in that store window. Right. But I know that I might like to look at it in that window, but it's that's not for me.
Right.
I'm a counselor, and so I like to follow. I like the mission of the club under Lisa.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So if it was to disband, I don't think that I could. I don't have the same vision she has.
Right.
Well, I would say I appreciate your knowledge and your wisdom of staying in your lane and what God's blessed you to do. That's so smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Lisa, I will tell you the same thing that they told me, and they're right in the world of nonprofits and stuff. Do you really want this to stop with you?
No, I really don't, because it is my baby.
And if something happened to you tomorrow, God forbid something happened to you tomorrow, do you want it to continue?
No.
If something happened to you tomorrow, you want the
because if I would say it like this: if someone have the love that I have,
the vision,
for it to continue it, because I have, when we started out with 5 members, and I done had up to 96 members at one time.
Woo.
And so with that, I guess God, he allowed that to happen so he can teach me how to be a great leader. Because with that, you know, I had never been over that many people before. So he had to allow that to happen to teach me how to be a great leader for as dealing with different personalities, different attitudes, different people comes in. I had people to come in to want to take over. People come in, feel like it should be ran like this. People come in that want to, you know, have their own thing going. Or people come in and they start a clique within the club, and they start their own club within the club. And so I have dealt with so much, I mean, so much. Whereas, you know, with Mid-South Camaro Club, it's a mission from God. And so with that being said, for someone to carry it on, I would love for them to have the heart of God like I have it, you know, because that's what it's all about. It's a ministry. It's just not a club where they just hang out and we just go. And I don't want nobody to turn it into that where it's rigid. You know, we the original, and I don't want it to be turned into something else where it's different for us with the name. Because we are Mid-South Camaro Club. We deal with the city of Memphis. We deal, you know, with the mayor. We deal with the police department. We deal with, you know, with important people. So we have to watch what we do. And like I always, you know, talk to the members, you know, watch what you do on Facebook. Watch how you know, if you're taking a picture, you know, at a party, don't, you know, take pictures of your drinks. Don't take pictures, you know, watch what you do, because we are, you know, represented, you know, on Facebook, and we are being watched. You know, our city is watching. So that's why I say, you know, not being selfish, saying, no, I don't want it to go on. I want it to be, you know, whereas it's a person that has the vision, you know, and keep the legacy going. Instead of just saying, okay, well, we just keep the name going. Don't keep the name going. Keep what it's all about going.
I agree with you totally, because what you guys are doing is not at all what I thought a Camaro Club would do. And I agree with you. It's a complete ministry, and it needs to stay in that lane. I absolutely humbly agree with you on that. So I just want to thank you all for coming on to the show, man. That last half kind of blew really quickly, didn't it? Kind of went through.
Yeah.
But thank you all for being on Two Pastors and a Guest. We'd love to talk to you guys a little bit more in the future. I want to see some more awesome things and hear some more. I'm sure we are hearing some more great things that coming from you. So thank you all for all that you do. Bless you both. Charles, thank you for coming on, brother. Of course, my co-host, my man, my friend. And we will be back tomorrow. Who do we have on tomorrow, Charles?
Tomorrow is Friday. Pastor Sterling, and Church Health, I think it is. Pastor Sterling.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that's going to be a lot of fun. So we will see everybody tomorrow at 7 o'clock right here, Facebook Live. If you guys have any questions or comments for our wonderful guests, Mardrey, Kiles, Lisa McPherson with the Mid-South Camaro Club. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you like the page, go over here and type in a comment or a question for one of the panelists, and we'll make sure we get them to them. And thank you all again. You guys have a very blessed night.
Thank you.
Tell them how they can also get in touch with them also, you know, donate.
Oh, yeah. How would they get in touch with the Mid-South Camaro Club? If somebody was interested, how would they do that?
You can call me, Lisa McPherson, at 901-334-8805. Lisa McPherson, 901-334-8805. Or you can email me at lmcpherson2611@gmail.com. And that's lmcpherson2611@gmail.com. Thank you.
And it also great, also the same thing with being able to, if they wanted to donate, because some people may won't even donate.
Let's talk about your donation. I know we almost we're a little past time, but I think that'll work okay. If somebody wanted to donate, how would they do that?
they can call me. We don't have it set up on our website. We do have a website, but we do not have that set up because, you know, whenever we are 501c3 nonprofit, we always use our own money, our dues, to give back to the community. So we really just hadn't, you know, had donations. We just use our own money.
Well, y'all, if anybody,
We would love donations.
yeah, anybody in the audience is interested in being part of an amazing organization, apparently you don't even have to have a Camaro to be a part of the awesome Mid-South Camaro Club. So y'all check them out, and we will see you tomorrow, 7 o'clock, right here.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my name. Call me the fireman. That's my name.